cheap place you were talking about? Ugh.
Hello and welcome to another DualShockers discussion. This one's a very special one. Today I am visited, of course. Usually I have Michael Ruiz with me, but today I have Allisa James because I am reuniting one of the very first DualShockers videos that we did because I have a surprise for Miss James here. First of all, hey, how's it going? How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm awake. It is early. I'm wearing a Japanese wrestling shirt because that's just life today. But the reason why you're here today, and I'm sure you already see the title of the video, and you can also see this little image I have in the corner here. But I'm actually recording this ahead of time because I so luckily got to know this news early. But Atlus is going to be announcing a new PC game. And I'm sure they're probably going to announce more stuff on Saturday the 12th at the PC gaming show. But there's one specific PC game that I'm very excited about, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. It is going to be $19.99. That's how much this game is going to cost, and I'm really, really excited. Mm-hmm. So, I'll give you a couple guesses. What do you think that they're going to announce that's going to come out that is going to be a PC game for Atlus?
And it's a game they haven't announced before.
Actually, technically, it has been announced before.
Oh, okay. Okay, so first guess, which is kind of me being hopeful, Shin Megami Tensei 5.
I would wish, because I actually really want to play that. That will definitely be hopefully coming to the Switch.
I know. I'm just being,
No, I know. Me too. Who knows? I'm really actually very excited. I hope they get an English dub, or at least even for the Jap, because it's not even out in Japan, right?
No, it still hasn't come out yet, at all.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
We're still waiting.
so I'm gonna break your heart. It's not that. Your second guess. Go ahead.
My second guess, I'm gonna go with that brand new IP that they had revealed before. What was the name of it? It was like the fantasy.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm not positive of what that is.
Oh,
what you got it?
Wait, no, I don't think it was. Was it? It wasn't. It wasn't like. It wasn't 13 Sentinels. Like that one came out, right?
Yeah, I think it did. All right.
Yes, I'm trying to think of the name. But yeah, that's my second guess.
All right. What if I told you the Vita is dead? The only reason to own a Vita
No!
is that you would play Persona 4 Golden on the Vita. No longer, because it's coming to PC.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, the Vita's truly dead now.
The Vita is 100% truly dead. Hopefully the video, I put footage here so you can see it. But yes, Persona 4 Golden is finally no longer on just the PS2. It is no longer on the Vita, which is a wonderful platform, but it is dead. That platform is gone. I'm sorry. The Vita is dead. Yep. Long live now Persona 4 Golden, my favorite Persona, now on PC, which is going to be way more accessible on top of that. So, and it's going to be shown off. It's funny. It was supposed to come out last week, but respectively, everything obviously got delayed. The reason why I know that is because I know someone that's playing it, and I'm very upset. But at the very least, I'm happy that I'm finally going to be able to revisit all of my wonderful friends again. I believe it's going to be upper res. It's going to be spec'd out for PC, but it's also the golden version, which is the one that exclusively was for the Vita.
Yeah, oh man, I'm so excited. Persona 4 is absolutely one of my favorite Persona games ever. I love that game. I managed to get right into that game because I kept bugging him about it for years, and then he played it and he fell in love with Golden, and I'm so excited because I just love that cast of huge door, and it's nice now. It's not live locked behind the Vita anymore now.
No, it's right. It's that's the, to me, that was the big exciting thing, is that it's not locked behind the Vita, which the Vita, as much of a cool platform that it was, it's a great indie machine. It was really the only place to experience that story modernly. I mean, unless of course you had the PS2 copy. But then you don't get the extended stuff like with Marie and stuff. Like Marie is the additional character that they've added.
Exactly.
You know, and it's awesome because this year we got Royal. You know, the game that you reviewed, which is the reason why I invited you. And we had a great have a conversation the first time. To bring you back for PG4 is pretty cool. But yeah,
thanks.
No, for sure. But yeah, I mean, the fact that, yeah, it's definitely coming out. It's going to be, you know, sort of remastered for the PC. What are some stuff you're really excited to revisit again with that story?
Let's see. I think, of course, Marie. I actually really, really adored her. I thought she was a great example how to do a new character when you add them into the storyline. So, you know, she has these really fun interactions with all the characters, and yet she doesn't overpower the story. Like they gave her own, you know, story to tell later on, including dungeon stuff, but they didn't have her just completely take over everyone else's plotlines. Everyone's plotlines were still kept completely, which is not what I can say about the anime version. You know, they didn't handle that adaptation very well, but the game did a phenomenal job. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to like tackle all the silly fun content that they added on to Golden. Like I love the team up attacks that they had. Those were so much fun. I love that, like there were just so many different combinations. I love like all the silly things, like when everyone gets the mopeds, you can actually attack with the mopeds in battle. And and I love that Rise had like a bigger support role, like she could do more, which I'm sure was obviously the basis for like Futaba's increased role with support in P5. So that was really cool that Rise is kind of the one that really started. And I also just love the costumes too. The costumes are so much. I mean, I had a blast just switching out, and then they had these little cool things where like when you would switch out, and if you talk to your party members, they would talk about each other's costumes, and that was just a little great treat.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I'm you're hitting all the things I'm really excited for. I'm really excited to re-experience the story, because it's funny because I played this game after I watched the TV show Twin Peaks, and they very much are interlinked. I'm a shield for Twin Peaks. I'm just going to say that again over and over and over and over again. But at the very least, I will say, I did look this up. This is true. Persona 4 specifically is definitely heavily inspired by, including the Velvet Room is very much a thing in Twin Peaks. But of course, the story is a similar thing where there's just a murder in a small town, and it just constantly escalates, and then these kids go out and they stop the murders, essentially, right? They become friends.
Right.
So that's very, you know, you get to love the town. So I'm really excited to actually re-experience the story again, and including, I believe I did do the Marie subplot stuff. Yeah, I did do that. Okay. Yeah, I was trying to remember if I did or did not do that. But at the very least, I'm excited for, you know, new love interests, new character stuff that I missed out when I played it on the Vita. The fact that I can now return to this game as much as I want, because it will be on a platform that's accessible no matter where I am. I can play it on my laptop. I can play it on my PC. If I can, whatever my future computer, I'll hopefully be able to play it. So that is what's really, really exciting. The fact that I get to, not only do I get to experience these characters, I have more opportunities to tell people how to experience these characters as well. So that's what excites me, especially it coming to PC. I don't have the actual embargo details that's given to the person that told me this information, but ultimately, this most likely will come to Steam. This will most likely be as accessible as possible. This raises the question, though, if Atlus is releasing this on PC, what else are they going to release on PC? That's what I want to know.
That is true. That is true.
Like, are the
Did you
Shin
have
games
like
coming?
any kind of?
No, I mean, like I said, I just I just know that Persona 4 is going to be at that PC thing because it's the worst kept secret. I've already seen articles that are linking to it like ahead of time because they know, you know.
Oh my gosh,
which is funny, but they can't say anything. But that begs the question, like, what is next for them? What is next for Atlus to release? And the Shin games, I think, would actually be a good choice. Even the DS games.
Yeah.
Personally,
I agree. For me, I would love to see an updated port of Shin Megami Tensei 1 and 2. I'm so mad that right now the only way you can play them is either through the iPhone, the iOS thing, or you have to download, which is what I did. I had to use an emulator,
no,
which
100%.
and it's just a crime. Those two games are great. Especially, it's shocking how good of a game Shin Megami Tensei 2 is, and I feel like a lot of people would really enjoy, especially if they update the visuals a bit and kind of not completely, not overhaul the battle system, but just kind of update a bit so it feels a bit smoother. But it plays so well. Like I bet you so many people will enjoy it, even if they just download the emulator, booted it up. It's really that good.
No, for sure. No, 100%. I mean, the fact that the only way that you can play the first Persona game right now is if you buy the PlayStation Classic. Like, that's, I mean, sure, you could buy that, but it'd be great if you couldn't. It'd be great if it was just available on PC or if it was available on the Switch or something, you know, like, so the fact that this to me opens a door that things can be possible, especially for P3 fans that are just aching for anything for Persona 3.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And you know, I'm not saying that the possibilities are out there, but what if like the PC version of Persona 4 Golden does so well, they're like, hey, let's revisit those characters again. Like, I know there's not really a track record for this, I guess, except for, is 1 and 2 interconnected, or are they separate?
Persona 1 and 2? Yeah, they technically are connected because Persona 2 actually features at least one of the characters from the original, and then a couple others, like, you know, this little.
Got it. So, you know, I would say I'm keeping the possibility out there, you know, just keeping the hope alive. But the fact that I get to see Teddy again, I get to see, you know, Kanji, I'm really, really excited.
Oh, me too. Yeah, this is such great.
No, I'm glad that I was able to tell you this because it was a secret that I've been holding on now for like 2 weeks. It's been very hard. Yeah, but
well, thank you so much for telling me. Now I'm excited.
Yeah, so you have something to look forward to this Saturday. That's why last night I tweeted. Everyone thinks I just don't want. I want this week to end. Really, I just want to get it Saturday so I can play Persona 4.
Exactly.
That's the secret reason why I tweeted that. But anyways, again, thank you so much for being here. I'm glad that I'm able to spread some good news today.
Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun, and thank you for the news. Now I feel like elated. Now I'm ascended.
Yeah, you got something to be excited about. The number one Shin Megami Tensei fan that I know.
Exactly.
So there you go. Okay. Well, thank you so much to everyone that is watching this. I hope you're excited about the news because I'm releasing this exactly after it gets announced. So, hey, you thought the episode was over? Well, guess what? It's not. We actually have a little bit of a little bonus here. I, of course, can now reveal my source, the person that has told me everything to know about Persona 4 Golden on the PC. That is in fact Logan Moore, my man here. Current editor, obviously, at DualShockers.
Yeah.
Currently the spoiler of Dreams, telling me the fact that Persona 4 is going to happen. And then this is actually days after I talked to Allissa. And of course, as I predicted it in another video, it of course leaked. So, but it wasn't me. Yeah. It wasn't you. The internet.
I was going to say, so we've recorded this all out of order. At least you have. Right, you're acting like I'm feeding you information, but everybody else has seen this. And it's just like, oh, this is just publicly revealed. No, yes. I mean, so Persona 4 is out today. Hooray, assuming this goes up the day that the game's out. Persona 4 is on PC, which is really cool. We've had, I guess specifically, Sega looped us in on this about 2.5 weeks ago. This has been weird because it got delayed. It was originally supposed to come out last Saturday to coincide with the PC gaming show, which is where this got formally revealed today. And then it got pushed back. So it was originally supposed to come out on, a week from today or tomorrow, I guess, the way we're recording this. The 6th is when it was supposed to come out. And we got it about about a week before. So I've had this for about 2 weeks now. So I actually have the game too. It's not just the information that we knew that it was coming. Like I've actually been playing the game on PC. It looks really good. It's Persona on PC. Obviously, it's not like a full-blown remake or anything like that, but I don't know. It's a solid PC port of the game.
No, for sure. And I'm excited because this is a game that you can only exist in two places right now. You can either get the original Persona 4 on the PS2, and then there's the golden version, which of course is only on the now dead PlayStation Vita, which great console. That's really the only saving grace where I'm like, yeah, you should get that console to play that game. Now the fact that, yes, it is now officially on the personal computer, which is actually kind of nice.
Well, it's weird because one of the most successful ways to play Persona 3, 2 is also through the Vita.
That is also true.
Like the Vita is still kind of... It's like the PSP backward compatible library through the Vita is now another reason I guess you would continually play the Vita. The Vita is a great console. I love it. I actually dug mine out not too long ago. Actually, I'll tell you what I'm thinking of doing, and this might sound insane.
Sure.
So I've been playing through this. I never beat Persona 4 Golden actually on my Vita version. Now the PC version's out, and that's great. And a lot of people are going to think what I'm about to say is the thoughts of a psychopath. But it's been so long since I bounced off the Vita version.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I might continue playing the PC version up until it crosses over with the same date with where I stopped in the Vita version, and then I'll jump back over to my Vita version.
I at least thought that the crazy was going to be, I'm going to probably find a wire to charge my Vita and play it on the Vita. But no, it was play until PC, then go to Vita.
I don't know. It's honestly the only reason I have that inclination is because of the trophies and all that nonsense, and the PlayStation ecosystem, which I have invested in more than I have invested in the PC ecosystem over the years.
Sure.
But I just shouldn't do that.
No, but you also just blew my mind on the fact that there's going to be Steam trophies too, and Steam achievements. I totally forgot that that's going to be a thing. That's cool.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing that is here with this game.
Yeah. Well, by all means, I mean, this game, I believe it came out originally, about 2008, so how long ago that it was. This game, being originally a PS2 game, being transported as a portable game, you've been playing it. I mean, does it still stack up as a game that people should play today?
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because we're in a post Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal world now. And those games are... Persona 5 is much better, I think. I mean, story wise and things like that, and characters and things like that, like people are going to have their preference, especially between like 3, 4, and 5 are all the ones that I think get the most hype around them. But 5, like mechanically and just kind of that world and stuff like that, is a lot more fleshed out. So there's a lot more things going on in 5 compared to 4 once you go back to this. The only thing I think largely the game holds up incredibly well. The one thing that does is probably the biggest, I don't know, maybe not turn off, but just like the biggest difference between going back to 4 after seeing 5 is just the dungeons. I was going to bring that up. How they are, like 5, they're all handcrafted for the most part, and they're very deliberate in their design. And then 4 is like these randomly generated style dungeons where it's just like random hallways and corridors and things like that, and those get really stale really quickly.
That's what I remember about that game.
All of the enemies are just kind of like these amorphous blobs until you go up and smack them and then start an encounter. So that stuff has not aged super great, but other than that, the game, like the story and the characters and just like the draw to it, the RPG systems and stuff like that, it's very similar to what we have found in other Persona games. So like all that stuff still holds up perfectly. The link systems and stuff like that, building relationships with people, just the day in, day out, like routine of this game is like, yes, it still is a ton of fun to play, and people are going to be so glad that this one is now available on something that's not a Vita or a PS2.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, that's really the only reason why I even picked up a Vita in the first place, was because I heard so much about this game. Obviously, I heard it from different podcasts that I've watched and listened to throughout the years. What was my favorite thing, obviously my takeaway from the game, of course, is that it was so reminiscent to me of like my favorite Spielberg movies, when it's just about kids getting involved in something bigger than themselves and them going into this mystical place and, you know, solving the crimes, solving the murders. And then obviously a little bit later, I watched a little TV show called Twin Peaks, but other than that, doesn't matter. You know, I gotta mention it at least once every episode. But still,
stay on brand.
So you gotta stay on brand. And I'm wearing a Cody shirt too. But basically, yeah, I mean, I'm excited to revisit all these things, even if some of the features are not so much fleshed out than what I'm already used to. Especially, like, I played Persona 5, the original, not Royal. I'm finishing Royal still. But at the very least, yeah, it's going to be interesting to go back to the game, and I really do, because I love these characters, and there's probably activities and things that I haven't done. Is there anything additional, or is this really just a straight port of the Vita version?
So it's a pretty straight port. The exact description all the specifics of it, though. So obviously it's in HD or whatever, higher frame rate. They didn't touch the textures up a ton from what I could tell, but I have to say, like, the designs of the levels and things like that, outside of the dungeons themselves, really, but all the like mainline areas in the streets that you go to and you see, like, those held up like surprisingly well, I think. Yeah. And didn't feel like they were too old. Because I've talked about this a lot before in the past, but 3 Masters, a lot of times they bring everything forward, but the environments look really bad. It's like everything else is in HD or 4K or whatever at this point, but the surrounding environments and the textures and the environments and things like that can kind of bring it down because they don't touch it up too much. I don't know how much touching up they did here, but the environments themselves still look like really solid and they don't take you out of it. The frame rate, the higher frame rate, I mean, this is not like a super intense game by any means, but it does definitely look, it has a much better, it just looks cleaner. Playing at that higher FPS. There's also Japanese and English VO still. There's 2 versions of the game that you can get. I'm looking off of the whole press release here.
Oh, sure.
So you can just get the base game for $20, which is like stupid cheap, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they've got another version here for $25, and that is the game. You get a digital art book and then a digital soundtrack, which has 9 tracks on it.
Ooh. Okay.
So those are the only 2 versions. It very much is a very straightforward port in a lot of senses. They've really not packed a ton in here, but they really didn't need to. The price is the one thing I was honestly expecting to be a little bit higher. Not saying it's. I mean, I'm super happy it's $20, but I feel like they could have brought this over and charged $30 or $40, and people would have still bought it.
Yeah, sure.
But no, overall, it's just a really solid. I don't know. I mean, that's the thing is these ports are a dime a dozen nowadays, so it's hard to really say anything too grand about it. It's a solid port. They didn't screw it up bringing it over. And then, I mean, just the game itself is still really solid to this day as well. Like I said, some things have aged a little bit more than others, but overall, it is still very, very good JRPG to dive into and sink a couple dozen hours into.
Yeah, I mean, given this actually comes at a great time, especially with coronavirus still being very much a thing, I'm sure people have a lot more time that they could dedicate to, well, except for next week when it's Last of Us. But then again, that's just PlayStation people. There's also a chance for people that's only PlayStation. For people that have personal computers, they probably could sink their time to this if they're ready for it. And the fact that you just sold me on the deluxe edition only because of the soundtrack, because one of the biggest things about Persona is the soundtrack. So Persona 5 is fantastic, top tier. I'm on the Jeff Gerstmann wavelength. If I still think Persona 4 Golden actually has the better songs, but that's just personal preference.
I think 5 I do prefer. Getting back into this though, and like hearing these tracks again, I was definitely. I'd forgotten about how good some of the songs are in this game, for sure.
Even the Junes song, even though it's so repetitive, I love it. I just love that Junes song. Yeah, so I'm very, very much definitely now buying the deluxe edition. I didn't care about the art book part, but you told me about the digital. So I'm definitely getting.
You don't care about the concept art. You don't want to see.
I already have Persona 5 concept art books. I'm cool that I'm gonna have a digital copy of something. But either way, but yeah, no.
I am curious what songs are on the digital soundtrack.
That's true.
They didn't really specify.
Yeah, because if you buy the collections of like Persona 5, they don't have everything either. It's just like 5 songs and maybe a couple remixes. Yeah. So that's true. I'm hoping, we got. Well, oh my god, what's the name of that song? It's like, so that's Snowflakes, is it? Oh my god.
Snowflakes. Yeah,
is it. Love that.
Yeah,
jam.
and the other song called "Trigger the Libs."
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Like I told Allissa, just like, so actually things I did bring up with Allissa that I'm very curious about. So now obviously we have this port. It's resurrected to be on the PC. Mm-hmm. What's the future for Atlus potentially for these other titles if this does well, or potentially resurrecting P3, or even bringing in the other games that are also going to be lost on the previous generation, like the fighting games, Shin Megami Tensei games, like what?
Shin Megami Tensei.
Those are all lost on 3DSs.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely experimenting a little bit more. You can see, like, they brought Catherine over. I feel like that was like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Maybe further back than that. I don't know. Time's weird. They brought Catherine over somewhat recently too. So it seems like they're slowly starting to entertain the idea of bringing things over to PC specifically. I know we'll have all the Switch port folks out there who are not too happy about that things are still not coming to that point. I mean, I guess Catherine Full Body's coming to that next month, so that's a thing. I don't know. I think what's interesting is that a whole lot of stuff caught on, like this past week when this came out. And again, we don't know this. I don't know this specifically. Like, again, we're recording this before this is formally announced. Yeah. So I could be turning out totally wrong tomorrow, but like I don't know anything about Persona 3 coming to PC at any point, but I saw that people were throwing those rumors around, and that's not anything I'm aware of. So that's not happening to my knowledge. So that stuff seems unfounded for the moment. But yeah, Persona 3 is the one that I think people are really, that's the one even before coming over to PC that I feel like people were really starting to scream about pretty loudly that they wanted to see come back, because it was hard to really get access to that one. I mean, this one was kind of stranded on the Vita, but the 3 was also kind of stranded on the Vita via a PSP backward compatible port. So I know there's been a lot of people, there's been a whole movement for them to like remake Persona 3 at this point, which would be, honestly, that would be an interesting stopgap between 5 and 6, because obviously a lot of people are talking about Persona 6 at this point, what they're going to do next, since they've come out with the revision with Royal compared to Persona 5. So I don't know. They're definitely trying things out, and I'm going to guess that this is going to be really popular when it comes out. And I have a feeling a lot of people will just throw this onto their Steam libraries just for posterity's sake and just because they want to have it. So yeah, I don't know. I think if Atlus likes money, they would bring all the others over, but
no, for sure.
Who knows?
I mean, at the very least, I think this is a good idea, just straight port and bring this, because I still think this is a pretty solid game. I wonder if you do end up bringing back 3, or even Portable, because Portable at the very least brings in that second protagonist. Mm-hmm. It'd be interesting if they actually, instead of going the port route, but end up remaking that one, because that one seems very popular, and that has a very controversial ending from what I understand. I never finished it, but I know what the ending is, and people are always wanting there to be a sequel or a resolution to that game. So if they could, for Final Fantasy this, where they decide to like update this, I feel like I say that about most games, and I was like, man, really,
that's the new thing. People
should just Final Fantasy this, and if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Love it or hate it, but
they need to Demon Souls it.
Yeah,
that's the new one for me.
Add an Arby's, 100%.
Add an Arby's, yes, like that image.
That was the best photo I saw all day. I was like, yes, that guy knows what's up. That guy is happy right now. He's the new, was it Skyrim Grandma?
Skyrim Grandma, dude, playing Dark Souls in the middle of an Arby's on a TV.
Was it a CRT as well, or was it a plasma?
I don't think it was a CRT.
How do you plug that in? I don't know. There's so many questions. You know what? Here's the photo. There you go. You can take a look at that. All right, cool. I'm taking the photo back. All right, cool. By the way, I know that the game itself is obviously remastered, with, but the cutscenes done, because I know that they had actually like animation and stuff like that. What's going on with the cutscenes?
Yeah, so that's the one thing I forgot to mention this before, but that's the one other aspect that is probably a little bit not great, like in terms of what's been ported. It's you can definitely, again, the cutscenes aren't like super prevalent throughout the course of the game. They pop up every now and then, but
Are they 3x4?
They are not. I think they do blow them up to the full aspect ratio, but they're very grainy. Like you can see the individual pixels in the cutscenes or whatever because they were designed for. I mean, again, it was a PS2 game, and then they brought it over to the aspect ratio of the Vita. Of the Vita, and now it's been blown up on a computer screen, so you can definitely see like the individual. Yeah, like the pixels in the animation. So, I mean, those don't look super hot, but it's not like anything terrible. But if there was one aspect of the port that I was going to say like, this didn't translate over super well, it would probably be that for sure.
Okay. Any other future Vita games that should be brought over? You know, Uncharted, Golden Abyss,
Freedom Wars, Uncharted, Golden Abyss.
Mercenaries,
Resistance, Skies, something. I forget what the subtitle of that one is. Killzone Mercenary. They shut off the Killzone Mercenary servers out of nowhere the other day. I don't know if you saw that. Just people signed on it. People just signed on and they're like, "Oh, Killzone Mercenaries multiplayer servers are now no longer live." Okay, it just happened out of nowhere. So
I love that there's companies that like give people like years warning. They're like, "Nah, f that game."
Yeah, it's dead. Goodbye. Yeah, I don't know.
Now.
I don't know. Like, I mean, for me, it was the main reason I played Vita was just handheld games, or handheld games. Playing indie games on a handheld.
Yes,
I totally skipped over the indie part of that in my brain. Yeah, that became like an indie machine for me.
Yeah,
and so a lot of those games have since come to other platforms. So I'm just not needing to play them there anymore, primarily. So yeah, with that having happened, I don't know. Yeah, I love the Vita though. That's the thing, is like everybody's like, I mean, it's gonna be, we're gonna hear these jokes all weekend, like Vita's now officially dead. It's like, yeah, kind of is, and that sucks. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what I also love about the Vita, of course, is the fact that I could play old classic PlayStation 1 games pretty easily on there, including Metal Gear Solid. It was the only place I played a little bit of Metal Gear Solid on, but other than that, I think we pretty much wrapped up, unless you had any additional things that should be important to this.
I don't think so. No, that should be everything.
Okay. Well, there you have it. I have, of course, Logan Moore telling me everything I needed to know, telling me all my deep secrets. This is finally revealed. This is like the magician show where he like just wears that black mask and he like tells you everything that happens in the background. Never seen that show? Okay, you do seen that show. Okay.
I think I have.
That or I'm old. It's one or the other.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about. I forgot. The last thing I will mention, I want to throw out there, is that we will have a full written review up on DualShockers.com. So if you do want to read that, and we can throw that down, it's probably in the description of this video as well. So if you want to read that, go for it. I'm probably not going to say anything too different than what you heard me say in this video. But yeah, throw that out there in case you like things of the written variety.
Absolutely. And of course, you can always find that at DualShockers.com. You'll actually find this video at youtube.com/DualShockers, where if you watch this last couple days, we've actually been talking about the PS5 for 2 different special videos. We did a live stream all the way through, which apparently had a bunch of DMCAs because of music. Thanks, Sony. But also we did a post show, which of course showed off some footage, but also shares our discussion of what we actually think about this new system and the fact that we got games, we got a system. It's crazy. This is just finally some news. News is finally happening. So I'm excited. So definitely please check out those games. Logan, of course, where can they find you else on the internet other than DualShockers?
Pretty much nowhere else. Twitter, if you want to follow me there, you can follow me at moreman12.
Okay, and you can follow me at that Mario Rivera, where I will obviously be on Twitter or at the YouTube channel. Again, thank you so much for watching, and take care. Just quietly wave.
Someone